Hello. Marietta back with another video, y'all. Y'all know it's such a beautiful day out this morning. We had 28-degree temperatures last night, so it was really freezing cold. And right now it's like about 42. But as I got to thinking about um, the homeless people, I got to thinking about how millions of people are headed for homelessness. I can see that millions of people, y'all, are about ready to experience something that they may not have ever thought they would ever experience a day in their life. I'm seeing this as we begin to embark on a new year, as we begin to come in. I've prayed, oh yes, I've labored before the Lord, and as I begin to pray and as I begin, God has begun to show me things and reveal things to me. He let me see that millions of people are about ready to be headed to these here streets. When you look at your street in your area, you see how cold your street is. When you wake up in the morning, you see the freezing, frozen vehicles and how the ice is laying on them and it's cold. And you think of the human flesh being outside on the ground in these freezing temperatures, not knowing where to go, not knowing what to do, mind-boggling to think that you would ever find yourself in this type of a condition. This is a condition that a lot of us thought we would never ever see in our whole entire lives. And to be able to be thrown out there, hell, even Boy Scouts and Girl Scouts get training before they throw to the street. Right now, so many people are being thrown to the street like wolves. I mean, just like wolves, where they're not even being able to be trained to even be able to how to handle themselves in such rough terrain. And when I say rough terrain, because everybody's not going to be able to be homeless in the city. Some people are going to have to hit the woods, hit the trees. You may even find yourself running for your very own life. I just got to give it to you. This is not nothing to scare nobody or give no scare tactics. It's just revelation of what is being seen and what is being shown. If your eyes is open, if you still don't see what's going on right about now, then you got to be living under a rock. As you can see how the population, homeless population has begun to grow already. I mean, we're talking about young, we're talking about old, we're talking about even your very animals, young people, old people, your animals, everything being thrown to the street, your clothes, your whole livelihood being broken down due to what's going on in the United States and how the economy is crashing right around us and how we're now being forced to be able to take care of ourselves and forced to be able to stand on our own 2 feet. It's forcing you to be able to look after yourself and look after your own. You're going to have to team up with your family. This homelessness is coming. It's going to be a new beast. It's going to be a new thing that we have never seen nothing like this before. If we thought we got shaken to the core in 2020, we ain't seen nothing yet. Be prepared. I'm not, like I said, this is not to scare nobody. This is to prepare you that if you find yourself in this situation, what are you to do? How are you to function? How do you begin to even grasp how you got there? Are you mentally prepared for what is about ready to happen and what is going on right now? As I just did my last video talking about the garnishment of the student loans, which is another situation that's going to put people in homelessness situations. There are so many things that are happening around us that is causing people to be homeless right now. Before you can look at people, you can say, oh, they're homeless by the way they look. Oh, they're homeless by the way they act. Oh, they're homeless by what they went through. Oh, they're homeless because they own drugs. You gave 1,000,001 reasons why these people were homeless. Now you don't know why somebody is homeless, because the regular homeless people don't look like the average homeless person. You got your doctors is going to be homeless. You got your nurses are going to be homeless. You got your lawyers, and you got people that you thought construction workers, and you got people that worked in corporate offices and worked in plants and just worked all their lives, and all they knew was how to do was to go to work, because that's what we get taught when our earlier age is to go to work and create a life for ourselves, build a career for ourselves. But who would thought that that would land us homeless in a place where we don't even know how to fend for ourselves? Homelessness is not a disease. It's not a sickness. It's a place of being where you end up when you go through some things, or when somebody take you through some things and your livelihood is being stripped away from you, and the economy ends up the way it is now, with things crashing around us and everything, rising costs of everything, and the instability of day by day tax become just too out of reach. You know what I'm saying? You go to the grocery store, everything is cost. You thinking you're going to pay one price and you get there and it's inflated. You get there and the pack of a hamburger that you used to pay $7 for is now $17, $20, $36 for the same pack of beef that you used to pay $7 for and $8 for. Now it's $30 and $40 and $50. You got to look at the fact that nobody can outrun inflation. You cannot outrun this. So it may land you in a place of homelessness, sleeping in situations that you never, ever thought you would find yourself in ever in a million years. Sleeping in your vehicle in such a small space, because 9 times out of 10, if you grew up back in the 60s like I did, you wasn't sleeping in no cars. You was not sleeping in no car. You always had a house, even if it was a small house. Most people had a house to stay in. Of course, you always had your homeless, and the poor will always be with us. But there was a time that you understood that even if you was in the car, you would get out of the car and you would go in the house and lay down. Now people are looking at these vehicles are their main source of livelihood. This is where their roof is over their head, and homeless people are actually getting ready to go through a lot of things. We may all end up as homeless people. You can't look at them and say, oh, they're homeless, because you may be next. You may be the next in line to be homeless due to no fault of your own. There are so many things that could happen that could go wrong in our lives. I'm just expecting anything and everything to happen the way things are going now, praying that it don't, but as they say, expecting the best, expecting the worst and hoping for the best. Because right about now, it's like anything that can pull the money away from you that you may be able to think that you're going to be able to live off of or live with, it's being stripped down. This loan garnishment for anything, could be for anything, not just student loans. It could be for your child support. It could be for your credit card debt. It could be for your car loans. Because once these garnishments start, they may start all across the board, and that's money going to be taken out of your pocket. It could create you a homeless experience. And when you go through this homeless experience, do you think you would know how to handle yourself in a homeless experience? Have you ever saw yourself eating out of the garbage can or doing what we called back then? Because I have been homeless before. I've been down that road. I even have been in a situation where I was raised with 11 other children, where we had to struggle for breakfast every single morning. We didn't know what we was going to eat. We had to go pick the fields just to get money to make. When I say pick the fields, we went and picked cucumbers, we went and picked tomatoes, we went and picked apples. It was hard for me coming up. We had to lift baskets of this and baskets of that, and people wonder why you're not so trusting when you go through this type of life where you always had to figure out what you was going to eat, and you had to go work for it. You had to get up and go work for it. Them beans and rice that mama used to cook back in the day ain't no big deal to be eating beans and rice now. Coming from a family of 11 living in a small house, there was probably no more than about 700 square feet at that, and you got 11 people living in this house, and you got 11 hit of kids, and we all got to stretch out in 2 bedrooms to try to create boys in one room, girls in the other, but still they were piled up because it was 5 of us and 6 of them. So we still had to figure out how to live, how to sleep, how to make ends meet. And you go out and you go through life and you end up right back home, and you end up in homeless experience. I'm sure somehow in your life, when you've lived this type of life that I have come from, where you have been in situations from the 60s, from the 50s, or even the 70s, you have experienced some type of homelessness in your life, where you have had to eat out that trash can, or where you had to spend them nights out there on the street, or you had to have a stranger help you more than your own family help you, or you had to sleep in an abandoned building or abandoned car. Been there, done all of that. Been there, done that, in the woods, slept in the woods, all of that. So I understand exactly what you're going through when you go through your homeless experience, especially when you're scrambling for clothes. There was a place where we used to go to, Catholic Charities, and we could get clothes for $1, clothes for 50 cents, clothes for a quarter. And you could buy, even if they didn't fit, if they were too big, we would still buy them. Why? Because it was like having a big blanket on. If I found a jacket that was, I may have wore like I was a skinny little thing. Then I may have wore like a size 8 or size 9. I mean a size 10. But I would always get stuff in like a 18 extra large, 2 extra large, because I could wrap it around me. If I had to walk the street, I could wrap it around me like a blanket. You got to understand how to move when you're going through situations such as that. Don't try to get clothes that's all tight fitted, because you're going to need something to cover yourself to make yourself more comfortable when you're out there walking. And it's just like saying you will find places when you're out there to go look for food. And the best place to go look for food is at your local Salvation Armies. The Salvation Army used to open every day at 12 o'clock and give us a meal. This is where you're going to learn how 1 meal a day will suffice you. 1 meal a day will keep you alive. 1 meal a day will stop you from starving. 1 meal a day will stop you from doing strange things, doing something strange for a piece of change. 1 meal a day will put you in a position where you will feel like you can make it to the next day. But you're out there walking, and you're walking for hours and hours and hours, and you're walking to nowhere. It seems like there's no end to the road that you begin to walk when you're in in a homeless situation. And then you begin to go and you meet people as you go along the way, and you still have to use your manners, you still have to be respectful, and you will know who to connect your spirit with. There will be some people that you'll meet along the way that may even give you a night inside the house. They may even let you sleep in their barn. They may even let you sleep in their car. They may even give you a room for a night. But you got to be in a place where you got to be able to receive and be respectful as you go through these things. You know, because some people that go through homelessness, they'd rather stay in the street than deal with family. They'd rather stay in the street than deal with people, period, because they have learned to maneuver, they've learned to handle themselves in the street. You'll meet some of them too that will help you handle your situation in the street. But you got to be careful. You got to be careful who you connect your spirit with. And you don't move with so many things. This is where you will definitely learn how to become a minimalist. You will only be able to travel with the things that you could carry, and you don't want to carry things that are way too heavy, or things that are not important, or things that are not going to mean you no good, just to be carrying things like you put in your house. You fill your houses with a bunch of stuff that you don't need, a bunch of stuff that you'll never use, just to have. You know, this is exactly how we used to live. But now homelessness is about ready to take over. A lot of people, millions of people, are about to be homeless, and they're going to have to learn how to function in this state of homelessness. And it's going to be rough. It's going to be rough, especially if you never had to do that dumpster dive and get food out of the trash can. You never had to meet in the back of a restaurant as they threw food away for you to eat, and you would get that food. Sometimes you wouldn't even care if it had maggots on it. You would brush it off if you're so hungry. Hungriness will make you delirious. Hungriness will make you see things that ain't there. Hungriness will mess up with your mind in a way that no other thing can, because it's taking away what you need to survive. When you find yourself in a place of losing you'll begin to fight. You'll be either fight or you'll give all the way up. And I pray that you don't put yourself in a position to give up, that you'll start preparing yourself for whatever may be able to come at this time, because you know right now nothing is off the table. Nothing is off the table. This garnishment for these student loans is just another way of it's going to come in. It's going to create another form of homelessness for so many people. Millions of people are about to experience homelessness. Millions of people about to experience homelessness. And you need to learn how to team up with somebody now. Team up with somebody now while you got time. Start talking to your family. Start talking about these bills. Stop trying to say that that's my business and nobody needs to know my business until it happens. Until it happens that your wages get garnished or until your check gets taken away from you. Let somebody know what you're paying, what you have to pay. See if somebody can come in and team up with you. This is no time for you to use your pride. Millions of people are about to be homeless because of the thing called pride, and because you have been separated for so many years that they have driven a wedge between you and your family, wedge between you and your friends, wedge between you even opening your mouth and speaking. Closed mouths just ain't going to get fed. Let me just say, call a thing a thing. You got to be able to open your mouth and express yourself and see what's going on and see who connects with you and who is ready to pay the bills. Whose house are we going to live in? How are we going to come together with this? Where are we going to meet up if something does happen? How are we going to prepare ourselves? You got to be ready. If and so you're not ready, then let me tell you something. When I was in Costco's day before yesterday, when my son was home, we went to Costco's. And we went to Costco's so that I could get some things, and I wanted to see exactly what the prices of everything look like. Y'all, let me tell you, they're not playing with the prices of these meats as these meat prices are going up. They are truly going up, and they're going up right now, and as high as they possibly can be. I've seen steaks $60, $70, $80, $90. I've seen hamburger $37, $34, $40. I've seen chicken. I chose to buy my chicken whole chickens, y'all, and that's another thing. Buy your chickens whole chickens and cut them up. Cut them up. You got to do everything you can so that you will not end up homeless in this season is what I'm saying. Go to your local stores and start buying your stuff. Figure out exactly who you're going to live with, how y'all going to live together, how you can come team up with somebody to help pay some bills. I know a lot of y'all like my peas. I'm not going to connect with nobody. I'm just going to live on my own. I got it covered until you don't. until they come snatch your income away from you, until they figure out how to drain the money out of your household. Because trust and believe, they're going to figure out how to get the money out of every single household. In the end, they're going to figure out how to get your money. If you're not smart with your money and know how to move what little bit money you got around and be able to connect with somebody to be able to make that money stretch. Because other than that, it ain't going to last too long. Because as soon as they realize you got something, they want it. Because this is exactly what's going on now with the homeless situation. All these people that are out here homeless, they did not were out here because they were broke. They're not out here because they're not good people. They're not out here because they wasn't good people. They weren't not out here because they were whoremongers. They're not out here because they're alcoholics and they're drunk. They're out here because of what is being done and what's being snatched away from them. And their whole livelihood is being shattered. It's being shattered. And if it can happen to them, it can happen to you, me, or anybody else. We may have a roof over our head today and we could be homeless tomorrow. This is how fast this thing is moving. Y'all think things move fast and made your head spin in 2025. 2026, they're going to get it done. They're going to get some things done. There's going to be a lot of different videos, and I'm not going to keep this one about the homelessness, but there's a lot of videos that I see that I got in my mind that I know I'm going to have to do to be able to shake you to your core and wake you up. Why? Because so many people are still asleep in the midst of this hour right here. No matter what is going on, no matter how much you have seen, how many people have been put in the street, in vans, in cars, elderly, youth, middle class. There's none of that. They're just tearing people down. People are being torn down financially, mentally, and spiritually, to the point where then once you get outdoors, now I'm gonna arrest you if you get caught sleeping in certain areas. Y'all don't realize that this is a homeless trend, a homeless chain, a homeless movement that's getting ready to go on down the line, and there's gonna be so many people in this homeless situation if you do not wake up and begin to put this on your mind that one day it could be me. And I'm going to leave that right there. And I thank each and every one of you for tuning in. I thank you for listening. I thank you first and foremost for helping this channel get to where it is. We meet that 20K. We've met that 20K goal, y'all. We're over the 20K mark, so we got to set a new goal. So let's go to 40K. Let's go to 40K, y'all. Let's do it. We can do it because this channel is really moving by the power of the Holy Ghost. Y'all are really, truly tuning in and y'all doing the dang thing. So with that being said, I want to let y'all know that I love y'all. I thank God for each and every one of y'all. If you have not turn your notification bells on. Turn your notification bell on so that you'll be notified when I drop my next video. But y'all tap in on this video. Leave a comment, a heart. If you don't have nothing to say, at least leave a heart. Share it out. Do what you can so we can keep the channel growing. I love y'all. Y'all have a wonderful rest of your afternoon.